give me 2 minutes and I'm going to teach you how to teach vocab to your class. There are a bunch of different sections in a Lexis lesson plan. This video is just about the target language, the time when you're up in front of your class teaching your new words. Language Housers, this is exactly what we want you to do in your lesson. So follow all of the tips. For everybody else, thanks for watching. If you like my content, leave a subscribe. Number 1 is we're going to elicit all of our words from scratch. We're not going to have anything written up on the board. Instead, we're going to use one of these various different techniques to pull that meaning across. Different words work better with different elicits, so think for a bit, what's the easiest way for me to teach this meaning? One quick tip is we want to keep our TTT low. Even if you're using context and definitions, try to use as little TTT as possible. All of that extra language is usually just going to confuse your students, so it's a good idea to stick with nonverbal elicits when possible. During your eliciting, some of your students might shout out the word. That's great, but the point of eliciting is not necessarily for them to say the word, because if they don't know the word, they're never going to be able to say it. The point is to get that meaning across. So try to find the most efficient, fastest, and clear way to get that meaning across. While you're doing your elicit, if you can tell that your students understand what you're trying to teach, you can trail out a little bit of the word. Trailing means to write out a couple of the letters and make a couple of the initial sounds to help jog your students' memory. And oftentimes, this will be enough for them to say what the word is. This doesn't mean to spend 2 minutes trailing. Don't do that. Do it pretty quickly. It's annoying if you don't know the word and the teacher is kind of giving you one letter at a time. Give them a little bit. If they don't know it, give them the whole thing. Every single one of your words is going to be written in the correct part of speech. If it's a verb, put it in the infinitive form. If it's a noun, give it an article. Distinguish between singular and plural. If it's an adjective, put a DJ by it, etc. This is such a basic but important step. When students see this, they know it's a verb. You don't have to explain that it's a verb for them, and this will really help them understand what you're trying to teach. Aside from the correct part of speech, you can also color coordinate them to have them pop a little bit. When writing them on the board, you can write them right on the side over here. Or if you want, come up with an interesting, creative presentation for them. Both work. After boarding up the word, we're going to drill it for pronunciation. This means I say it and the students say it back. Vegetables, vegetables, vegetables. Don't go through the motions of just drilling for the sake of it. You should be listening to what your students are saying. Some of your students are probably saying vegetables. You need to be able to hear that and correct it. Vegetables, and they will say vegetables again. And then you'll say vegetables, and then maybe they'll get it right. Your word is elicited. Boom, you got it boarded correctly. Incredible, you've choraled it. Fantastic. Final step is to CCQ, which means concept check question. Don't ask your students if they understand the word. They're just gonna say yes. It doesn't show meaning. Instead, you're gonna wanna ask one of these concept check questions. These are gonna be your who, what, where, when, how, why. Give an example, use it in a sentence, what's a synonym, what's an antonym, etc., etc. The word will be used in the question. So for example, if I'm teaching the word sprint, some CCQs could be, can you sprint a marathon? Name a famous sprinter. What's the difference between sprinting and running? Why would you want to sprint somewhere? How long or how far do people sprint for? These are all great questions that bring out that specific meaning. Because if I ask, do you understand what sprint is? And they go, yes, it doesn't really show me anything. So you got a CCQ, and we're looking for 3 CCQs per word. All right, that's it, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Language Housers, good luck with your lessons. Everybody else, if you want to train with us in Prague, check out the Language House. Have a good one.